Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jill if you haven't met me as yet. Today we're going to talk about how the woolen yarn gets from the sheep's back into a skein, a ball or a hank of yarn. The sheep are usually shorn once a year in either spring or early summer, but I have read that some sheep are starting to be shorn more often than that. Once the sheep are shorn, the fleece then goes to a wool handler who removes any of the large pieces of dirt and vegetation. Although you may still see the smallest amount of prickly vegetation still coming through into the wool that I receive. And that's not a bad thing. That's just nature. That's just the name of the game. Next, the fleece goes to the wool classer, and there it is graded for its quality. It's then baled up, ready to be transported and to be sold. Once the fleece has been sold, it goes through a few more processes. The first one is scouring. This is a cleaning process where they use mild detergent and gentle agitation to remove any more dust, dirt, sweat and lanolin. The lanolin doesn't go to waste, it goes to other companies and it is used for cosmetics and skin lotions. The next process is called carding. This process separates the fibres, untangles them and aligns them, and it removes any of the ones that are just too short. After the carding process, the wool fibres can then be processed into either woolen slubbings or worsted rovings. During the woolen process, the wool fibres are open and blended into a web. The web is broken into parallel strips, and those strips are then combined to produce a woolen slubbing. The slubbings are often used for spinning and weaving, and when it's made into yarn, just like this one, is airy and light. It's not uniform and you'll see lots of variations in the yarn. Wool here, this is the worsted version. The yarn is straight and uniform, it's lustrous and it drapes beautifully. So it's a bit more dense than the woolen version. Now, after carding and before spinning, the process of superwash happens. Superwashing doesn't happen to all yarn, just a portion of it. And superwashing is a process that makes the yarn easy care. By applying a chlorine solution, it either removes the natural scales on the yarn or flattens them out. You would not believe that in Australia we no longer have a superwashing facility. So our woolen fibres have to be sent over to China via boat, superwashed there and sent back. It's really quite disgusting the amount of miles that this yarn does for a superwashing process. We used to have the superwashing facilities, but we do no longer. The superwashing process is very toxic and is under strict regulations. It is required to be removed from the water before it is discharged back into the water system. Spinning is the next process, and this is where nylon is also added to the fibres. Not to all of them, but like superwash, just to a certain amount. And it adds extra durability, elasticity and longevity to the yarn. The spinning process produces one single ply of yarn. Now it will be spun in one direction, then to make larger yarn weights. So say you want to produce a 4-ply or an 8-ply, other little plies of yarn are added to it and they are spun in the opposite direction. Let me show you here. This 4-ply yarn is made up of 2 plies. Okay, so the spinning process makes that 1 ply, and then they spin again in the opposite direction 2 plies to create this 4-ply yarn. Okay, so you've got a single ply, PLY, and then when the yarn is produced with more than 1 ply, it is called plied, PLIED. I've got a few more examples. Here's a different 4-ply or fingering weight. If you can see that. This one is made up of 3 very fine plies. This one is super soft. It's beautiful. And here we have a DK weight. So you've got 1 strand here, or so it seems, because you've actually got a 4-plied strand of yarn. There are 4 single plies spun together to make 1. Okay, so that's the difference between a single ply and a plied yarn, because it's made up of more than 1 ply. The larger the yarn that you're producing, the more plies that can go into it. After the spinning process, some of the yarn is sent off to be dyed single colours in big vats, and then it is balled up and then ready for sale. Whereas other yarn will be skeined or hanged up or put on a large cone, and this is undyed yarn, ready to go to indie dyers who create beautiful work by hand. The hand-dyed industry has absolutely boomed as more and more people realise what a joy it is to create a beautiful coloured hand-dyed yarn. So you can see why some people won't purchase superwash yarn or yarn with nylon, because they don't like the addition of the man-made products. I myself have chosen to offer you superwash yarn just so it's easy care, and of course it's completely up to the individual who purchases it or not. Now, I just saw a tiny little bit of vegetation in this yarn. Can you see the little brown piece? So after all the processing, our yarn is never perfect, and we can't expect it to be either. We can either get vegetation, we can get the slightest variation in size where the fibres have clumped together. We even get knots. We even get yarn that is joined mid-skein. And that's just one of those things. I've just pulled that bit of vegetation out, and I don't know if you can see, it has little prickles on either side of it. So no wonder it's still caught up in the fibres of the yarn. Let me show you an example of beautiful hand-dyed yarn. Each skein is different. No matter how hard we try and make them similar, that's just the nature of the game. In the next video in this series, I'm going to talk to you about those very cute mini skeins and the gorgeous advent calendars that people purchase towards the end of the year. And I have one mini skein pattern that I can share with you. So until then, everybody take lots of care, happy crocheting, happy Easter, and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.